Once upon a time, one of the ancient humans was very hungry. He saw a beautiful fruit, red in color, perfect in shape. He ate it, and 2 hours later, he started running through the forest as if he was carrying a new update for his stomach. Then he died. And the rest of the tribe understood the message. Ancient humans literally learned by trial and error, and the error was sometimes very deadly. The ancient human had no laboratory, no doctor, no Google, and no video titled 5 plants you should never eat in the forest. All he had was, we eat and we see what happens. And most of our current knowledge about poisonous plants started in this very stupid but effective way: observing animals. In the beginning, humans used to observe animals. If he saw a monkey eating a certain type of berry and not dying, then that berry was probably safe. But if he saw a bird eating an insect and then falling from the tree, that was an excellent sign to stay away. But the problem was that some animals can eat things that kill humans instantly. For example, deer can eat plants full of toxins because their digestive system is different, while if a human ate the same plant, his stomach might turn into a fireworks laboratory. And the matter isn't limited to deer alone. Many birds eat poisonous berries without harm because their digestive systems pass a toxin quickly before it's absorbed. Some insects store toxins from plants and become toxic themselves, and some reptiles have special enzymes that break down substances that would kill us, so blindly imitating animals was not always a smart idea. The senses as a warning system. Over time, humans noticed that there were common signs of dangerous foods. First, bitter taste. Many natural toxins are bitter. That's why you automatically dislike bitter things when you taste them for the first time. Your body has a very ancient alarm system that tells you, my friend, something is wrong with this food. Scientists believe that this aversion to bitterness evolved through natural selection. Individuals who rejected bitter taste survive more and reproduce more, and pass this caution on to us. But the problem is that some very healthy foods also taste bitter, like dark chocolate or some types of vegetables. So this system isn't perfect, but it was the best the ancient human had. Smell. Strange smells were a sign of danger. If the smell resembled something that had died a week ago, you probably shouldn't eat it. But beyond that, some toxins have a distinctive smell, like the smell of bitter almonds, which comes from hydrogen cyanide. Ancestors who learned to associate this smell with danger lived longer. Colors. In nature, some toxic creatures come in very vivid colors: bright yellow, strong red, strange green, as if nature is saying, if you eat me, don't complain later. And this phenomenon in animals is called warning coloration. Colorful frogs, some insects, snakes with red and yellow stripes, they all scream through their colors, I am dangerous. But not always, because some poisonous plants look completely innocent, appearing as if they could be a main ingredient in a healthy salad. But they can stop your heart. The primitive testing method. And here humanity began developing primitive testing methods. Sometimes they would try a very small amount first. They would touch the plant with their skin, and if nothing happened, they would put it on their lips. Then the tongue. Then they would eat a very small piece and wait. Honestly, if I were in that time, I would never do this, but it was the best method available. And this particular method later became the basis for what is known in modern medicine as the plant safety test, which soldiers and explorers learned. The same ancient idea, but with more systematic steps. And there were also indirect observations. For example, if they found an animal dead near a certain plant more than once, that plant would go on the suspects list. Or if they noticed that collecting a certain type of leaf caused itching in the hands, that was a sign to be preserved and passed on. Removing toxins and cooking. And interestingly, humans didn't only learn how to avoid toxins, they learned how to remove them. Some poisonous plants become safe after cooking, like cassava. If eaten incorrectly, it can release dangerous toxic substances that turn into cyanide inside the body. But after washing, cooking, and fermentation, it becomes an important food source for millions of humans. And there is also red kidney beans. If cooked on a low flame without sufficient boiling, they retain their toxins and cause severe poisoning. But with proper boiling, they become a protein-rich meal. Meaning ancient humans weren't just survivors, they were also part-time chemists without knowing it. Cooking changed everything. Fire was like a massive update for humanity. Suddenly, it became possible to kill bacteria, break down some toxins, and make food easier to digest. Some scientists believe that cooking helped human brains evolve because the body started getting more energy easily. The energy that used to be spent on digesting raw food became available for the brain. Collective memory and culture. And with the passage of thousands of years, knowledge began to transfer between generations. The grandmother says, "Don't eat this plant." The grandchild asks, "Why?" The grandmother, "Because your Uncle Khalid ate it and disappeared." And that is how sciences begin. Much of the ancient knowledge came from stories, warnings, and collective experiences. An entire tribe might remember a dangerous plant because of just one single incident. And humans are excellent at remembering terrifying things. That's why your brain remembers an embarrassing moment that happened to you 7 years ago at 2 in the morning, but forgets where you put your keys 10 minutes ago. Fear is a very powerful survival tool. And there is an interesting phenomenon that anthropology calls traditional ecological knowledge, meaning every ancient society developed over generations very precise knowledge about its surrounding environment: which plant heals, which plant kills, which animal is dangerous in which season. Some of this knowledge was lost forever with the disappearance of civilizations, and that is why scientists today are rushing to document the knowledge of indigenous communities before it vanishes. The deceptive mushroom. Despite all this experience, humans are still making mistakes. Even today, there are people who eat poisonous mushrooms because they thought they were edible, and mushrooms in particular are very deceptive. Some types look nearly identical. One gives you an excellent meal, and the other makes you see your ancestors within 6 hours. Take, for example, the death cap mushroom. It looks completely ordinary, no strange smell, no bitter taste, but it is responsible for more than 90% of deaths caused by mushrooms in the world. The bigger problem is that symptoms appear late, after 6 to 24 hours, meaning the person eats it and the mushroom lets him walk around comfortably, then surprises him later. That's why mushroom experts are always more terrified than necessary, and they have every right to be. Agriculture and changing the rules of the game. Over time, humans developed agriculture, and here ended the phase of, will this plant kill me or not, and began the phase of, how do I make this plant produce more? But the road to this phase was full of very stupid adventures. Imagine how many people had to try random things for us to know today that potatoes are edible, but their leaves are toxic. Or that tomatoes remain for centuries in Europe considered only an ornamental plant because their leaves have a disgusting smell and they belong to the nightshade plant family famous for its toxicity. Or that some fish require a special preparation method, otherwise they become deadly. Like the Japanese fugu fish, which contains tetrodotoxin, one of the most potent toxins in nature. But Japanese chefs developed over hundreds of years precise techniques to prepare it safely. Today, you need a special government license to cook it. And in the end, the ancient human did not immediately know what was toxic and what was safe. He learned in the same way that humans always learn: curiosity, trial, disasters. Then someone survives to tell the rest not to make the same mistake again.